Arsenal 3, Crystal Palace 2. I don't know what I've witnessed. I don't know what I've seen. I don't know what I've heard. I don't know what I was able to comprehend. If you didn't believe in Christmas miracles, then today you have to change your thinking. You got to change your mind because today a Christmas miracle happened. When they say that Jesus has risen, no matter what faith you are, but you need to say that today Jesus did rise, and for God's sake, I did not believe he had the ability to do that. After the stinker upon stinker upon stinker that I have seen from this guy from the last 32/33 games over the last year or so, this guy has the audacity and the nerve not to score one. I mean, if he scored one goal, I'd be like, okay, he scored a goal finally. You know, he did the first goal against Preston, he scored a goal today, but he didn't just score one. He didn't just score two. I mean, if he scored two, we'd be like, oh, okay, he scored 2 goals, got a praise, not bad. But he scored 3 goals against Crystal Palace, an Arsenal team which at the beginning of the game were 1-0 down within 4 minutes. And this guy had the audacity, the nerve. I mean, this guy is probably the funniest footballer of all time. Honestly, for him to come out and with a performance like that to score 3 goals against Crystal Palace, I mean, and the way he was able to finish the ball, I've been trying and screaming for a striker to come out and do this for Arsenal, for somebody to have different ways of finishing the ball. I mean, he chipped the keeper for the first goal, for God's sake, and then he started scoring and blazing it left and right. I mean, for God's sake, we need to change his name for Gabriel Jesus to J9 because he was playing R9. It was ridiculous. I can't believe what I was able to witness. I mean, all jokes aside from what I said in the beginning of the video, he had no right to do that today. He had no right. And for some odd reason, he comes out and scored a hat-trick. You can tell from the surprise from my voice. No Arsenal fan ever expected this. I mean, if you, as a deluded Arsenal fan, managed to bet that Gabriel Jesus would score a hat-trick against Crystal Palace, then you would have won odds like it was Leicester 2016. It would have been like that. You would have got 5,000 to 1 because there was no chance anyone in the entire universe would have thought that Gabriel Jesus would have scored a hat-trick today. And you know what? Congratulations to him and for his new kid, because we saw that from the first celebration, or one of the celebrations that he did, that he's having a kid. So great on him. But all jokes aside, honestly, if we were to put all the Gabriel Jesus stuff away for a minute and actually just analyze this match, I didn't like what I was seeing. I mean, yes, we won 3-2, but defensively it was shocking, and the drop-off between the main defenders to the defenders that were playing today, especially in centre-back, just wasn't good enough. I mean, Gabriel Jesus did his thing, but Kiwior, my God, I haven't seen a goal that bad. I haven't seen someone that bullied since Mustafi against Aguero in the Carabao Cup final. I mean, that goal that Nketiah did to him, the way he barged him and literally bullied him and brushed him off, it was ridiculous. I couldn't admit that Kiwior, I mean, I know he has his faults, but for him to get brushed away like that against Nketiah was disgusting. And I'm going to be honest with you, the drop-off is too much. We got to look at Kiwior in the summer, because I've seen enough games from him. Yes, he done well against Manchester United, but it's more bad than good. There's more cons than pros. And we can see throughout that entire first half, not just by him, but by so many other players, that Arsenal were completely and utterly lackluster. It was bad. I mean, when people look at the bench for Arsenal have not been doing their job. The second team just haven't been doing their job. Other than Gabriel Jesus, everyone else, I was not good. I'm not convinced. I was not happy with what I was seeing. And I was literally shocked to see that Mikel Arteta, after 20 to 30 minutes, told Saliba and Saka to start warming up. After 20 to 30 minutes, you guys couldn't even handle something against Crystal Palace in the first half. Shameful. I was absolutely disgusted by what I've seen from some of these guys, and some of them shouldn't even be playing for Arsenal after what I've seen in this first half, after this season, hopefully. But look, I felt bad for Ethan Nwaneri. I thought that in the first half he just wasn't getting much of the ball. Just some of the areas that I was getting into, just wasn't that great. I mean, he was trying to play that Odegaard role by playing that half winger and sticking with Sterling. But when Odegaard came on and Saka and Saliba, you could see how much their game had changed. And you know what? It was good management from Mikel Arteta to change things up. But what happened in the first 45 minutes was very, very concerning. I don't know what these players were told before going into this game, but they just weren't in the right mindset, and we could see that they conceded so early. But you could also see from other players like Partey on right back just wasn't doing that great. I thought Sterling had some moments, especially with the free kick, and he was trying to play and beat the defender, and he was doing things which looked positive in my eyes. Like he was actually trying to run with the ball and get past players. I mean, that's more than I can say with some of our other wingers, which I won't get into. But with the sitter that he missed, I just expect more from him. I mean, it was a typical Sterling sitter miss. I mean, I've seen him do that so many times for Manchester City, and it was inevitable that would happen against Arsenal. And he hasn't had that many opportunities or any opportunities for the club this season, but I don't know. I don't think he'll start him against Crystal Palace. Trossard on the other side, he had a poor game as well, in my opinion. He wasn't able to do anything himself. And Mikel Moreno, when I saw him play, he was breaking up the play, which I thought was good, but I just didn't see him get much more on the ball. I wanted to see him get more passes through or more shots. I mean, he did have a couple of shots during the game, but I just wanted him to be a little bit more clinical and a bit more on the ball with his passes, if that makes sense. So I didn't really think that he was that great, and I wasn't really too convinced by him. And we're getting to a point where we're halfway through the season, and I'm looking at Mikel Moreno, and I'm just like, I need more from you. You're not doing enough for me, especially for his age and his profile, and for him in the team. He just hasn't had that big enough impact. Other than that, Jorginho, you're just doing typical Jorginho things, trying to keep things ticking. And Timber was okay, I guess, but when he went to that right back slot, he looked more better, which is obvious. It's to the case. But we gotta remember, Timber's a guy that plays centre back as well. Like that is his literal main position. But he's gone through a run of games now where he just hasn't looked that great. And hopefully gets back into form and improves, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. Other than that, Mateta, what a goal! And we got haunted by Nketiah, and this is the thing, Nketiah and Jesus both scoring world-class finishes. I mean, what the hell? What universe am I in? What world are we in? I mean, I can't believe what I was seeing. Nketiah, who is on horrendous form, who hasn't been able to score much goals, and God knows when. I think he only scored 1 or 2 goals this season, and that was in the Carabao Cup and barely in the Premier League. And for him to come out and score like Didier Drogba, I mean, it's inevitable. It's in the Arsenal script. It's scripted somewhere. I mean, first we have Jesus scoring a hat-trick, and then we have Nketiah scoring a bullet header from God knows where to score against Arsenal. I mean, football is a script, right? It's a joke. It's a myth. That's exactly what it is. I mean, that's the only point of indignation I have for this, because how the hell do you have Gabriel Jesus scoring a hat-trick after 32/33 games of stinkers and scoring 1 goal? So now we're at the point where Gabriel Jesus has scored 33 goals, has 33 games and has had 4 goals, which is good, but that doesn't mean I'm going to change my mind about him. I do think that for me, this increases his transfer budget or his transfer price, and maybe we can get some more money out of him. But look, Mikel Arteta has backed him. I said that he's not going to sell him in January. And we have to see if it pays off. I'm not going to come here and say, yeah, he's going to kick on and score like 20-30 goals in this season or whatever. That's foolish for me or for anyone to say, and especially if we were to look at his previous form. I mean, all we can say is hopefully he's able to do well, and hopefully he's able to get double figures at the minimum by the end of the season. But look, I'm not even hopeful that Gabriel Jesus will do that. But look, if he's on form and he feels confident and if he can start, then might as well. I mean, we're playing Crystal Palace again in the weekend, and I think that Gabriel Jesus has to play in that game. I mean, if you score a hat-trick, then it's only right that you keep your spot and play the next game. I mean, I remember when we did that with Luca Perez and we dropped him after he scored a hat-trick, and the outrage and the outroar that happened after that game. But overall, you can see how much the team improves with Odegaard coming on. Odegaard with his passes and Saka as well, they were able to do so much for the team. Odegaard had a good cameo with his assist, Saka as well. Saliba came up and shored up defenses. Gabriel came on and he looked like he was about to give away a goal, especially when he just came on the pitch. But I think with Gabriel Magalhaes, we need to just take our time with him, not really rush him back. But overall, it's a good thing that we beat Crystal Palace because we really need to get trophies. We can't be going through another season going trophyless. I mean, at year 5, phase 5, project 5, whatever you want to call this about Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, whatever, we need to win trophies now. Whether that's the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, but ideally and mainly, we need to be winning the major honours. By the way, side note, what Mikel Arteta said about the Community Shield was absolutely laughable. Look, man, as much as a Community Shield is a nice thing to win, at the end of the day, when people talk about trophies, it's about the Prem, the Champs, the FA Cup, and maybe even the Carabao Cup, even though it's not really rated like that, which is fair enough. But that's why people need to push Arteta on these sort of questions. And when I saw the answer that Mikel Arteta gave, I just laughed to myself because that was absolutely ridiculous. And there were other people saying it was a sign of the end. Look, I'm not even going to get into all of that. I just want to have some sort of positivity after the utter rubbish that I've seen over the last couple of weeks. I just want to see Arsenal competing and fighting and winning, for God's sake, these trophies once and for all, because we've waited far too long for this. 20 years of this, plus 5 years into this godforsaken project. We need to see something. But yeah, other than that, well done, Gabriel Jesus. I didn't give this guy a chance in hell, but look, he's been backed. He scored a hat-trick. Let's see what more he can do. If he can prove all of us wrong and continue this form, or if this was just a blip, we're just going to have to wait and see. I still have my same thoughts about Gabriel Jesus. I've still cussed him out so many times in my own previous videos because at that time he deserved it, but today I'm giving him his flowers. Well done. And for all the people that love Brazilian players and this and that, have your fun. All the people that have backed Gabriel Jesus, please enjoy yourselves, because God knows what's going to happen next. As for me and for all the people that watch this video, take care. See you soon. Let's see what we do against Crystal Palace in the next video. Bye bye.